So hello, you're very welcome to the Junior Cert course. Now, on the previous day, we had a quick look at the different topics that are on the course, from a number down to algebra. And as I said before, we're going to be going through the spiral method of learning, which means we're going to be visiting all the major topics and then coming around to visit them again and again. So the focus is on learning with revision, short videos, short exercises, and revision to make sure you remember what you're doing. So let's begin. We'll be looking at number. What's the topic of number? We're going to be looking at the type of number and operation on numbers. So you might be wondering what types of numbers we might have. So let's have a look at the first type of number that you've looked at in primary school. And that was the numbers that you use for counting. So we'd count 7 apples, we'd count 6 apples, we'd add them together, and we'd get a count of 13 apples. We could also count 20 apples, count 5 apples, and subtract them from the apples to get 15 apples. Okay, so those numbers 7, 6, 13, 25, and 15 were what you knew as the ordinary counting numbers. And in secondary school, we call these the natural numbers. So that's a type of number. Let's look at another type of number. You already know one called fractions, but you might not have heard of one that we use to compare numbers for increases and decreases. So these are numbers that we use to describe a change in amount. So for an example, let's say there are an unknown number of people on a bus and 5 people get on and 5 people get off the bus and 3 people get on. Now, if you knew how many people were on the bus, you might say we're subtracting a count of 5 and adding a count of 3. However, we're going to do an unusual thing now. We're going to find a number to describe the change in amount of people on the bus. So when 5 people get off the bus, instead of saying we're subtracting 5, we're going to use the number -5 to describe that change. Let's have a look at all the possibilities, or rather a collection of possibilities here. 5 people getting on the bus, 3 people getting on, 2 getting off, 6 getting on, 9 getting off, 12 getting on, 2 getting off the bus, and 0 getting on. And we're going to look at the numbers we use to describe these changes. So the first two numbers, I'm going to use the number -5 to describe 5 people getting off the bus and +3 to describe 3 people getting on. So I think you can guess, for 2 people getting off the bus and 6 people getting on, we'd use the numbers -2 and +6 to describe that change. Then for 9 people getting off and 12 people getting on, we use the number -9 and the number +12 to describe that change. Then use the number -2 and +0 to describe the final change. I wonder, is 0 a negative number or a positive number? Or is it just 0 if there's no change? But you can think about that yourself. But mostly, this is a type of number that we use to describe a change in amount. So now we're going to be looking at the other part of this, which is operations. Okay, so there's just a recap of what we have. There's an unknown number of people on a bus. Some of them are getting on and some of them are getting off the bus. So we're going to look at all the people who got off the bus together and all the people who got on the bus together. And we're going to look at what happens when we combine all these things together. If we combine all those numbers together, the numbers -5, -2, -9, -2, and the numbers +3, +6, +12, +0. Mostly you think about this as how many people got off the bus and how many people got on the bus. So if 5 people get off, another 2 get off, another 9 get off, and another 2 get off the bus, that will be a total of 18 people getting off the bus and 21 people getting on the bus. We use the number -18 to describe that change in people when we're looking at all the ones who got off the bus, and the number +21 for all the people who got on. When we combine them together, we have the number +3. So after all those people have got off and on the bus, we find that the change is +3, and the number we use to describe that change is +3. Let's have a look at today's exercise. Today's exercise is adding numbers. Adding is an operation. It's when you do something on these two numbers. And the type of number that we're looking at is called the integers. The integers are those numbers that we use to describe a change. negative numbers and positive numbers. Let's have a look at the following two integers, positive 7 and positive 4. To add these two together, you just need to think of people getting on the bus. 7 people get on the bus, 4 people get on the bus. That will give you a total of 11 people getting on the bus. So when you add those two integers, you get the integer positive 11. How about this? If 3 people get off the bus and 6 people get on, we know that more people have got on the bus. So the overall change is positive 3. 3 more people get on the bus than get off. So we have the change is positive 3. And we say that we're adding those two numbers together. When you add negative 3 and positive 6, you get positive 3. If you add the following two integers, negative 7 and positive 4, well, we think how many people got on and off the bus. More people got off the bus, so we know the change is negative, and when you combine those two numbers together, you add those two integers together, you get negative 3. What about the following two integers? Negative 7 and negative 4. Negative 7 describes a change of 7 people getting off the bus. Negative 4 describes the change of another 4 people getting off the bus. So in total, 11 people have got off the bus. The total change is negative 11. I could have given you the answers there as well, but hopefully you can see that the answers there will be positive 7 for question 1, positive 3 for question 2, negative 3 for question 3, and negative 11 for question 4. Okay, once you've done the exercises, you'll begin to understand this a little bit better. But first of all, you always need to do your revision. For the very first exercise you do, there won't be any revision, but in general, do your revision first. And then click on the link below to complete the exercise, or go to the website, themathsguide.ie, to sign up and begin if you haven't. Okay, so remember, the very important thing is that you do the exercises and the revision. Every day, do your revision first and then do the exercise. Okay, so integers are numbers that describe a change. We have positive and negative integers. Negative integers describe a change decreasing. Positive integers describe a change increasing. Cool.